I was thinking like the thing there, the email that you sent me with the USPS.
Yeah, the that hatchery sent me for that petition. Yeah, I like that.
That's
I
hilarious.
actually called a couple hatcheries today, and
Fuck
yeah, right.
So at least that got through. I don't know, man. I have nothing open in my fucking shit right now.
Yeah, after that one we did with TVC, I didn't think to like close like all the apps on my phone and restart it or anything, and yeah, we got like halfway through it and like overheated and shut off. And I was like, oh shit, but you know, it's a 4-person podcast. You can kind of go unnoticed.
Yeah, for a minute there.
What's TVC?
So you the voluntary contrarian.
Okay, how was that?
It's good. I had him on my show a little while ago, and then last like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, it was me. No, I don't know what to call you, and then Texas Joe.
His dad.
Yeah, that works. Because I would like, if possible, to mention the Dagorist Nexus or whatever. So
yeah, for sure.
I made the theme song for that show.
Did you really?
Yeah.
No shit.
And then I made one for the same dude who asked me. I think it was David. I think who asked me. Seabass is the one who I connected with initially. So I made that, and then he came back at me a couple months later for a show called Beyond the Bug. And then I did music for that one too, but I don't know that show ever actually happened.
Oh no shit. Do you don't know Brandon, do you?
I don't know. I do. There's people that I wouldn't know if I did know, because like just personality. The Twitter names. What the fuck are they? I don't know.
Right.
Or they'll have a different name in one place than another. So I really don't know.
You've never been to like Anarchapulco, have you?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
I
was surprised how many people go to that. I went to a meetup.
It's in fucking Mexico.
Last weekend. Yeah, it was like thousands of people go.
It's in fucking Mexico. You don't even have to be an anarchist to want to go to that. Go watch the crazy people in the warm weather.
Well, yeah, I went to a meetup a couple weeks ago, and there was like 14 people, or no, I'm sorry, it was like 8 people who had been there. Me and Eric were the only people who hadn't been. And then we went again last weekend, and there was like 14 motherfuckers. Like all of them had been, and they're all like relatively local to me. I just couldn't believe how many people have been there. And then Brandon goes.
You guys are closer than I am. That's for sure.
Yeah, we drove almost 2 hours.
Almost 2 hours. You know how long I have to drive to get to an anarchist?
I don't know.
I just drove 13 hours to Borkfest last summer. So.
Oh, geez.
I think Midwest Peace and Liberty Fest is only 3 hours away, but
I don't know, man. I'm spoiled. Like it was just like such a good time, like hanging out with people who don't want you caged. Like.
Oh yeah, when you can be there.
I don't want to hang out with I don't want to hang out with any normies.
I don't hang out with anybody. This is my weekly hanging out with normal people. Is with Ben every week.
Oh.
Yeah, buddy.
Pretty much.
All right.
So we were going to talk about the letter.
Yeah, I think so. Why not?
You don't have that handy, do you? Do you, Ben?
I could pull it up. Yeah. I think I actually cut and pasted to Nick earlier in Keybase there. I'm trying to find online any place where it actually has the regulations for shipping shit.
Yeah, according to the hatcheries I talked to today, they said that that's the reason they use the USPS is they're the only people who will ship them. I don't know if it's a legal thing or if like UPS or whatever just doesn't.
It's probably an insurance thing, honestly.
Yeah, probably something to do with that. But
Because it is something live, nobody else wants to insure it properly for nothing, and the USPS is just insured because it's the government by default.
yeah, and they're so much cheaper because they're basically subsidized, by everyone
Yeah.
else. So
Exactly. And then you set it on fire.
All right. So,
Cover it with gas and set
so
it
from the
on fire.
USDA, how about interstate regulations provide for quarantine, restriction of movement, maintenance of sanitation, and identification of animals to prevent spread of animal disease. So you have to have an accredited vet certify livestock, birds, and poultry for intrastate and interstate transportation, according to the regulations in Title IX Code of Federal Regs 9 CFR. Individual states provide certificates of veterinary inspection that are available from the state animal health official. Interstate transportation of animals, including poultry and animal products, must conform to the requirements in 9 CFR Chapter 1, Subchapter blah, blah, blah. Most states have additional animal entry requirements. These requirements, as well as interstate transportation regulations, can be obtained from the appropriate state animal health official. So it sounds like, it's not necessarily that the state says, or that the federal regs say you can't, as it is, it's just kind of like so convoluted that they're just kind of like, fuck it, maybe. I don't know.
Well, they're about to make a lot of money on it coming up now. Because if the feds won't do
All right,
it.
so
yeah, that's my thought. Is if suddenly I'm sure that somebody would figure it out if like they're going to want to get that market share if let's say the post office were to disappear, which we can hope, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I mean,
that's not going to happen.
There's going to be a Snap-on company now that just drives around with fucking varieties of chicks and says, "Oh, you got time to re-up on your chicks, folks? How many you need?" And he just drives door to door.
Oh God, fucking Snap-on.
My dad used to have like a full fucking Snap-on set.
If you turn a wrench for 8 hours a day, like maybe I can see it,
And he did.
But
that was his job. So he
the only Snap-on stuff I have is stuff I inherited from my grandfather, who was a mechanic. And hey, it still works. A lot to be said there. So
they're fucking good, but it's there's no point.
I used to work with a guy, and he did a shit ton of research to find out what companies manufactured shit for them. And then he just like buy it straight from like the manufacturing companies and get the shit for like a quarter of the price.
Yeah. If you got the time, man, you can do it.
But Harbor Freight for me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for what you pay for Harbor Freight, like if it works once, you probably got through like what you needed it to get through for the amount you paid for it.
Yeah, if you got a specialty tool you only got to use once, it's great. Or, I mean, I've got a socket set that I've had for like 12 years, and it's a nice little ratchet and everything, it works just fine. But again, I'm not sitting there 8 hours a day with a ratchet in my hand. So,
I mean, I've fucked up some tools in my day.
I did actually shear off a 3/8-inch breaker bar the other day. So,
how'd you do that?
I was trying to tighten down some lug nuts and it ripped right off.
It's easier than you think, Ben.
Yeah. So
I've definitely destroyed the bearings in more than one fucking socket set.
Yeah.
It's that was the beauty of fucking what's it called? Is it Craftsman? Yeah, Craftsman for a while.
Yeah. You take it back.
You just give you one right off the shelf and say, "Here you go."
Mm.
As long as they got the model in stock, you're good.
Yes, sir.
They just switched from Sears to somebody else, I think. I think they're still around, but I don't know if they have the same policies.
I mean, in general, the policy started to get stipulated on pretty heavily too. Yeah. Only certain classes of tools and things like that fell under the umbrella. Like they basically started coming up with different lines of tools, and only these certain lines fell in. But ultimately, I'm pretty limited on the number of tools that I need to have. The ones I do, I want to work when I want them to work, but I don't need a lot of them. So
right.
Fucking sockets.
Yeah. I never have a complete set of sockets. For the longest time, I always worked with like metric sockets, and I just
Mhm.
did what I could, and if it didn't fit, I had to, try to figure it out. But Harbor Freight came to town, and I got myself an American standard set of sockets. Look at that, fancy
Yeah, I
guy.
much prefer the metrics as well. I'm not
Yeah,
typically bad with fractions, but it's just so much easier.
yeah.
But you know what the key is, guys? You need to. It doesn't matter what the fuck you like. It matters what the bolts are in.
Yeah.
Well, you
What is
can
this
get
world
like
where you
pretty
can
close, man. You can get pretty close, but
and pretty
It depends
close
on how tight
choose
it
the
is.
and pretty close choose the teeth right off your fucking socket. So
so that's why you got to be careful. You got to angle it right and really lift and twist at the same time and
you
try
make
to
sure
Hammer it on
wedge
real
it.
good, you know.
Yeah.
so you keep a balloon handy next to you to fill in the gaps.
Mm-hmm. A little something there.
Oh shit, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a little life hack. You put a balloon over it when you stick it in there. It'll compress out to a little bit to help
Yeah,
it.
sure it up a little.
All right. So,
Did we want to? You said
birds.
sorry. Go ahead.
What were you talking? No, yeah, chickens, birds. What were you talking the other day about? Condensed agricultural. Some
Yeah,
shit or other.
concentrated animal feeding
Well,
operation.
I was talking about Schellenberger, which by the way I finished the book
Yeah.
and it's fucking awesome.
Is it? I really wanted to read it. That's the thing. Like, I didn't want to sound like I was talking shit or anything. That was just one thing on that interview that I was like, but there's so much more than that.
No,
have
you ever read Steven Pinker's books, like the world is better demons of our nature, or whatever it is there?
That's not the Greenpeace guy, is it?
No, Steven Pinker is a
Nick.
linguist, and he's like a super smart guy. He's like a Chomsky type, honestly. But
okay. No, I have not.
his newest book was like, it's so hard to read because it's basically just one big long treatise on why capitalism has saved the fucking world.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll just arbitrarily make decisions about stuff. and I know I just wrote 4 chapters about why free markets are the greatest thing, but we just need regulation because we do.
Oh, Jesus.
Just a little bit. Just you got to have somebody playing referee, shit like that. Like,
right.
well, you just spent an entire book's worth of time that said that literally the freer we are, the better off we are, and now you just randomly decide there needs to be. Like, I don't get. It was infuriating.
No, some people just can't let it go.
But he wrote in books about like how the world is better than it's ever been for humanity, and yet it feels like it's worse than it's ever been because of psychological reasons.
Right.
Like I said, the thing that was similar between us, like I said, is just you have this guy who is like giving all these points and facts that we like, and then just kind of randomly throws in, oh, well, this is what we got to do because we got to do it. Okay. My big thing is I don't necessarily disagree with him. Like, I don't think that high density growing is bad. I do think that there are certain practices that get kind of lumped in that become an issue.
Right.
Like if you could have high density growing by using regenerative like practices, what the fuck's it matter?
Right. Yeah, and I think it was just that he said like, oh, because if you care about having more wildlife, then this would be the thing. And I'm like, well, that's like not even like at all in my concern when I like prefer like pasture raised, like cattle or whatever, so like that reasoning, like I was like, oh, that just doesn't like, that's not even like a concern of mine, it's all the other environmental issues, health issues, things like that, chemicals, fertilizers.
You guys want to just get going and record that shit?
Yeah, we can talk about that. You're gonna split the episode up, Ben.
Is that a bush pop? Is that like a pound or a bush there?
Yeah, it's a bush.
Nice. I thought I knew. I thought I recognized that, but so try one of these guys. Yeah.
Nice.
What's that?
Keystone Ice.
Oh. We're both white trash, aren't we?
Yeah. Deep down inside, or right on the surface. Right on the surface.
What do you mean you're both white trash? I grew up in a trailer.
Oh, all 3 of us. All right.
I technically grew up in worse than a trailer. I grew up in a trailer that was made into a house.
What do you mean made into a house?
We just kept putting on additions until it was eventually a house.
Oh, no shit.
It's now a ranch with a foundation. It took about 30 years.
Nice.
But for most of my life, it was a trailer with an addition. So, all right. Hit record on my Audacity here.
Me too.
I'm doing it.
Recording. Shit, it's going to the right thing. Am I okay?
You're fine.
I'm
I'm
going
here.
through the.
I never know on the other one until I actually hear it.
Okay, it's going through.
So,
All right.
and Dag's coming through on his phone, right?
Yeah, I got these
No, you're good, man.
headphones. Does it sound all right, or?
I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like I can hear you. That's really the important thing.
Okay. I agree. I need to get a fucking mic.
Whatever.
How are you recording? How are you doing like Agorist Nexus without a mic?
Just this for now.
All right.
I mean,
I get paid on Friday. I'm gonna order one.
not being
Yeah.
understood is part of the charm of the podcast, Ben.
Yeah, haven't you heard Brandon? Yeah, he's got some fucked up audio too.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm busting your balls, man. That was no, it's good. It's good.
All right. Welcome everyone to Free Markets Green Earth, episode number 54. I am Nicky P here as always with Ben the Liberty Hippie. How are you doing there, Ben?
Good. How are you?
I am probably doing better than you because I'm sitting in front of a fan. I hear you are having some AC issues.
Yet again, man.
Always.
I don't know how people lived down here before. It just doesn't. I'm like, I don't know.
Not very well. That's
Yeah.
my understanding. That's why you had weird Southern culture.
I think so. Must be just fried brains, you know.
So we are actually joined this week with a guest. We have on Dag to talk about this fancy letter that we saw going around that just boiled the old blood. So welcome,
It's a
Dag.
good. You gotta love a good letter.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here. On the Southern and AC thing, just real quick. There's a saying that goes like the air condition ruined the South because it like ruined like front porch culture or something. So it used to be everybody hung out on the front porch and was friendly with each other. Now with air conditioning, everybody hangs out inside. But I don't know, man. I'm happy with the AC.
I can get that. I can understand that, but I think I'll pass.
Yeah, me too.
It's. I was outside on the porch today, and I mean, my kids are doing weather for like homeschool. We got all sorts of thermometers out, and all the thermometers are saying like 100 degrees, 100 plus, and not what the Weather Channel says, but it's like unbearable. Even with like the fan on outside, it's unbearable. I don't get it. In the shade, it's unbearable. So
My arm
I don't know.
physically hurt in the window of my car today. Like the sun beating on it genuinely hurt. That's a problem for me.
There's a, even when it's not hot in the South, and you feel that sun beating down, like you can feel the cancer growing on your skin. Like you feel your skin just melting off your forehead, like wishing you had hair again. And it sucks. It sucks. But,
yeah, I hear that.
There was a time when you had hair, Ben.
There was, and it's no longer here. So now I wear a big sun hat. It's always classy.
When I first met Ben, he had the big floppy dreads on with his skullet.
Hey,
it was fun.
It was the last go before just went back to the
just went to being an old
shiny
man.
forehead and being old. Yep.
So
a mustache is getting white hairs, and I'm like, man, it's happening.
So Dag is a personality over at the Agorist Nexus podcast, where they talk about what exactly?
Agorist stuff. We've actually had, before I was co-hosting, we actually had like a lot of McAfee and Sal the Agorist and Lily Forrester and a bunch of really cool people like that. And then I'm relatively new with them, so we did a few crypto episodes, which I am not a crypto guy, at least not yet. So definitely a little over my head there. But we did Control Q last week, which was a lot of fun. and we got some other people lined up too. So yeah, a little bit of this and that. Basically anything market oriented or preferably slightly illegal.
I obviously ask for you folks because I do listen to the podcast, so I knew all of that on my own. But but let's give him the time to talk, you know. So let's dig in here because we know how much I hate editing, so I don't want to have too much editing. Let's talk about this letter. Ben, you shared it in our Keybase group, and I about fucking wanted to kill things. Just was irrationally angry. It doesn't affect me in the least, frankly, but I was furious beyond all reason. You want to just read it so we can let people know?
It's fairly absurd. It's fairly absurd. Yeah, well, I can do that. Yeah, and then so Dag actually like forwarded this to me, and I don't know, give me sort of a reply. I guess I don't know if he replied or not, but I can share that as well.
I hope somebody sent that to somebody.
I didn't reply. I was like, whatever. But I was like, after I typed it out and sent it to you, Ben, I was like, man, that was really good. It just flowed for me. I really should have said that.
Yeah, it was good. So I'll read this letter. It is from, what's the hatchery? Metzer Farms. And I don't know where they are, but they're your favorite duck, goose, chicken, and game bird hatchery. Apparently, they're not mine, but they are yours. So, because U.S. Postal Service revenue has dropped dramatically due to COVID-19 pandemic, its government-backed funding will not allow it to operate past September of this year. And at this point, there's no legislation acceptable to the White House to continue funding the U.S. Postal Service. All hatcheries are 100% dependent on the U.S. Postal Service to ship birds to you, and we want to make certain the solution to the current shortfall does not include cutting the mailing of day-old poultry. We need your help. Please sign a petition and or contact your congressman to explain how important it is that the U.S. Postal Service continues to deliver your birds. And then there's a link to go sign the petition, which I didn't click.
You know, I only regret that you can't sign something with a mushroom stamp over the internet.
Would you like me to read your reply and get us going there, or do you want to just ramble on it?
If you want to, go for it. I don't think I could say it any better.
All right, then it's pulled up here. So I said, as a farmer who depends on the shipping of chicks, I sympathize with your dilemma. However, I do not want my business to be subsidized by taxpayers. Surely we can find another method of shipping chicks. If the issue is that USPS is the only legal way to ship them, perhaps our efforts will be better spent petitioning to have that law changed. If the issue is that no other company is willing to do it, I'm sure their tune will change when the USPS no longer exists and they have a whole new market. Again, maybe our efforts will be better spent trying to work out a system with them. Yeah, man, it's just like, I don't even know where to go with that. It's so absurd, right?
Well, and I mean, for someone, homesteading or runs like a farming business, like yourself or me, it's like, if that happened, if they just went away, like I'd really be in a pickle because I rely on getting day-old chicks, but I just can't conscionably say, no, we need this huge wasteful, they waste billions of dollars a year. I can't say we need that to happen so I can continue my business. That's just not right.
And that's it, right? Like I think if push came to shove, you'd have to find an alternative. If they shut it down, whether it's other places picking it up or you find hatcheries nearby. But yeah, like I get needing to make a living. I get like that's where you get the stuff. But at the same time, it's not right to force that on everybody else to pay for those sort of things. And why is the USPS the only ones that can deliver chicks? Why is that?
I'm just flabbergasted at so many outlets. First off, what kind of person like gets involved in this with those kind of politics? Like what I guess hard leftists are making chicks, or am I just missing something? I mean, I know that the right wingers can be commies too, but I didn't think it was that bad. Usually your farm types are pretty normal about, sweat on my brow, not taking another man's stuff.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I think they are in California, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Oh, okay. So this is some hipster organization.
Here or there. I mean, I don't think. I think the postal service is like one of those things. It's like the roads. You know, it's just become so ingrained and so like, look, if we didn't have the postal service, like, look at how much UPS charges. Look at how much FedEx charges. It'd be so expensive, and like nobody recognizes how much they're actually subsidized, how much these, you know, tax dollars actually go to pay for these costs that were already, you know, you're already paying for it. I don't
mean,
think
they've been
people
losing
realize
money
that.
for years, and
They have. And
like a
I think
lot
it's,
of it.
you know, yeah, I think it's like the, you know, military spending. I think it's like the roads. I think it's, if you turn somebody, I think that's going to be like probably one of the last vestiges of the right hand side, you know, the right wing side there.
How else would you get a bundle of junk mail every Tuesday if the post office wasn't here? You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
surprised the
and
leftists haven't gone after the UPS for like killing trees. I'm sure they must, right? Somebody.
they don't care about that
Well,
anymore, bro.
All those cars driving around delivering mail every day. My God, how much crap do you get in the mail that's actually like useful?
Dude, no,
Like
no, no.
you could get the mail once, twice a week, and like it would be fine.
Ben, you've got to read the Schellenberger book. I'm just telling you. Like, it's so fucking good, and he covers so much
All
of
right.
it and so much of the hypocrisy.
All right.
Dude, there was stuff in there that even on my mind, like we talk about this all the time, and even my mind was just like, oh my God, that's disgusting. And like he hits it harder than I for in some ways than even we would dare go. Like he calls out people by name, and it's just like, you guys are bullshit. So it's pretty intense. Well, I guess so. I'm the odd man out here. You guys, like I understand, like at an academic level, like this is stupid. Why are you begging for other people to subsidize something for you as opposed to just finding a way to make it happen? Why are you asking for government handouts essentially on this? But I guess everyone else going cap in hand to whatever. I mean, they set the precedent for coronavirus that everyone's just got to go and ask for their little pittance.
Yeah.
Here I am feeling like an asshole because I told my boss to not lay me off. I lost money in the deal. Sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
How about, imagine that? Yeah. You lose money by actually going to work.
yes. So
Yeah.
I guess my question is, I'm not. We don't grow chicks here. We've talked about it. It seems complicated. Why do you guys buy chicks off the internet? Like, or why do you not like grow them yourselves? I guess. Don't you guys have birds that make eggs and those become chicks? Isn't that part of like the deal?
Well, there's a couple things. You know, in a lot of instances, yeah, you can. You know, you have an incubator, you can hatch your own chickens. But every so often you want to get some new DNA in the flock. You know, but then it's also going to depend on. So, like for me personally, I do a lot of the meat birds, the broiler chickens, and me and Ben have sort of been trying to figure out how to do it. But it's breeding them because of the way they're bred, because they're a hybrid, is really difficult to do yourself. So ordering them from a hatchery is just really like the only really, I don't want to say possible, because obviously, you know, I'm sure it can be come up with. Like I know people who have tried to do it for years.
So
yeah, and it's, you know, it's a big, you know, they've been working on it for many decades.
I don't think it's necessarily like IP trade secret stuff, but and I haven't looked too hard, and each hatchery kind of has their own, like, I don't know, strain is the right word. You know, like the you know, Freedom Rangers, the Rainbow Rangers, they all have like this sort of, you know, but like I was telling you, at Tractor Supply the other day, I was reading the sign for the Cornish cross, and that it's like a 4X cross. Like it's not just a first generation hybrid, right? So there's like 3 or 4 different lines going into it, and so to figure it out as a amateur is fairly difficult. And not to mention that, like, these guys have been doing this for how many years, and they've got these animals dialed in, selected, that have been like shown to produce these kind of offspring, you know. And so to try to start from scratch on that is hard.
Yeah, they get the weight feed conversion ratio and everything down, and then again, they just have, as many of them as you need. And I mean, let's say I did want to try to breed them myself. Well, where would I order the birds I need? I need Cornish, I need White Rocks, at the least. So I have to order those from somewhere. So, a lot of it's a selection thing. And then, just having the ability, I can't just go down to Tractor Supply and pick up what I need. And of course, how do they get to Tractor Supply? They're shipped through the mail, just like when I get them. So, same kind of thing. If you're going to go locally and get them, you would either have to go to a direct hatchery, which I don't know where there is one around me. As far as I know, the closest one is in Georgia. So,
Yeah.
I'm a little SOL on that one.
Look, all I'm saying is a lack of education on your part doesn't mean I got to pay for this, bud.
Hey, I agree. You shouldn't have to pay for it either,
No,
but there's just the incentive. If they do go away, there's going to be incentive for us to either figure out how to breed them, more local hatcheries to open up, or someone like UPS or FedEx figuring out, hey, let's get in on this game because there's going to be a lot of market share there for them. Because I mean, a lot of chicks are shipped every day.
Well, we were talking beforehand. Ben made it seem like it's not that it's illegal to do. It sounded like it was going to be more of a pain in the butt for them to.
Yeah. It sounded like there's
illegal to do it.
Yeah, there's federal regulations and then there's interstate regulations, and I imagine wrapped all into that, like you said, is probably a whole bunch of insurance issues, and you have to have, vet certification and all this stuff. And the UPS or FedEx could probably do it if they wanted to get involved, but at this point, it probably doesn't. The money isn't there, so they don't do it. You can't undercut, the USPS to do that. I don't know. I'm trying to think what the shipping was. Like a couple of the hatcheries I know, shipping is like next to nothing. If you order a certain amount, it's like almost free. And I don't know. It just doesn't seem like, next day shipping for live animals should be near free.
I totally agree. I wonder how they do it. And then this is probably the answer, is that it's being subsidized,
Yeah.
It probably should be more expensive.
It is.
I can't. It's got to be. It's got to be.
It's
like $7, to ship a big box of live chicks.
Well,
right?
The reason that they're limping along at all at this point is because of Amazon. Essentially, Amazon pays pays the USPS to deliver stuff. They handle some of the logistics of it, and pays them to do it under market rate or at whatever the market rate that Amazon decides it is, which is significantly less than
Amazon's market rate.
Yeah. Well, when you when you have the logistics set up that they do, I mean, they're going to undercut what the UPS would need to make it do it, but it's without.
I heard Walmart's
they would make
trying to do something. Walmart's trying to do something like that. I think they're trying to get involved in that sort of thing. It'll be interesting to see if that's allowed.
What do you mean?
I think they're trying to get into the kind of shipping type deal, the overnight type delivery stuff.
They already are.
But I think them actually doing them driving the trucks, doing the shipping kind of thing?
No, I don't think necessarily. I think more kind of like competing with Amazon in terms of getting stuff delivered, on a much bigger scale, on a much.
They
sell stuff at a loss. If it's to compete with Amazon, they'll sell it at a loss in order to make that sale, because they're trying to get that big. Yeah, I heard that.
Well, the big thing is all of them. The next big thing is because next day to your door is the thing, or some days the same thing, same day to your door. That's why, you
gotta get those drones fired up, man.
The drones, from what I understand, don't work terrible. But there's other options currently that work better. I mean, we've used grocery delivery services in the past. I've got no problems with them, and it's just a step from, okay, well, here's your groceries now. Now what about everything? And that's where you move from a grocery delivery service to when Walmart just delivers whatever the hell they want. They have their own delivery service, and I'm sure it's going to be at a cost to implement. But at this point, they've kind of let Amazon do all the heavy lifting of figuring out how it needs to be done. So now they're going to have to do is copy and paste and figure out the nuances.
Yeah. You gotta get that copyrighted, man. Amazon's got to file a patent on their delivery system. What if you can you file a patent on
You
your
can file a
business?
patent
Like
on literally anything. Whether or not it'll hold in court is something else.
your business model.
Have you ever heard of what Yahoo used to do?
I don't, but I'm sure it's
Yahoo used to just
somebody did it.
Yahoo just used to have a group of people that just sit in a room and come up with nonsense.
Yeah.
And then file it away for patenting.
So the patent trolls, I think Odermatt over there at Felony Friday did an episode once upon a time on that. Talked to some guy down in Texas, and it's just like, it's amazing. Like, it's just a business built around filing useless patents.
Pretending you came up with an idea. So
Yep.
On the whole,
similar comes out, you take credit.
Samsung and Apple had a lot of like, cell phone wars. Like, it's like, oh, a rectangular device with rounded edges was patented. The slide to unlock was patented. And it's like, I've been operating gates like that for years,
Yeah, exactly.
You got to wonder, like, what, because they've allowed Monsanto to patent GMOs, right? To patent different types of seeds, their Roundup ready stuff. So why hasn't somebody tried to patent like these Cornish crosses? I wonder if
Probably
that's
are, honestly.
I don't know because
maybe that's why there's so many different varieties. Because like you were saying, there's the Cornish cross, there's the Cornish rocks, there's the Cobbs, there's the, I don't even know the other ones, the Freedom Rangers.
Yeah.
And
it seems like every single hatchery has like their own distinct like variety off of that, right? Like the Cornish crosses are like 6, 7, 8 weeks, and these other ones, they always are advertised as like 8 to 12 weeks, and they're better at foraging or whatever. And I don't know, I feel like every hatchery has one, but
fun.
Yeah. And I wonder though, no, because like you had mentioned the hatchery up here in Georgia,
mm-hmm.
and I'm actually looking at maybe putting an order in coming up here for I don't know, had the date anyway, butcher date in October, so coming up. But I wonder like if you would see more if the Postal Service flops and they leave, if there are regulations and it's not just paperwork that keeps other shippers out, if you'd see more hatcheries like that like popping up, because even the big chicken plants out in the Midwest, right, or wherever you see these tunnels of like hundreds of meat birds, how do they get there? Because they're not hatching them on site, right? Like
right, yeah,
they got to be shipped in. So
even like reading like Joel Salatin, I mean, when they get their chicken deliveries, I mean, it's like a box truck or a semi, that shows up, because I mean they're getting thousands and thousands of them at a time, and I mean, maybe there'd be some sort of niche business that would pop up. Like for instance, one of the feed companies I'm looking at getting is actually in Ohio, but it's worth it. They actually they have a truck and they make a lap once a month, all the way down here.
Oh, so there is a snap-on.
yeah, exactly. So if a feed company can do it, ship feed from Ohio to South Florida, and it still be cheap enough for me and profitable enough for them. I mean, maybe we wouldn't be able to, maybe there wouldn't be like an order date every week, to start, but maybe once a month you'd have an opportunity to get chicks.
Right.
I mean, someone will come up with something. I mean, that's the beauty of the market,
I guess my next question was like, so why are they not doing them like, like farmers markets and shit like that? Like, why do you not just have people selling the chicks at farmers markets?
Well, I think like we have down here in Georgia, like
is this a matter of it's too centralized, isn't it?
Yeah, it isn't everything.
I mean, is that what this is, Dad? We're centralized and one group controls everything?
Yeah, oftentimes, yeah. And especially in a lot of when it comes to agriculture, that's definitely the case for industrial agriculture. There's it's a few big companies, do pretty much everything, and like we're seeing with this whole coup stuff, it really throws a wrench in the works with supply chains and everything. When there's just a little bit of a hiccup, suddenly there's not food on the shelves.
Yeah, I think we need to handle that. That's what needs to be issued and dealt with.
It's crazy, man. I'm so over that crap. We got toilet paper, but no paper towels. It's like, man, and beef is like $5 a pound for ground beef. I'm like, what do you try to sell me over here, man? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm done with it.
Oh, I said we've actually been a lot busier here just because people go into the store and it's not there. And I'm like, maybe I should make friends with some of my local farmers, because
Yeah.
they got the goods.
Yeah, it's prompted me to kind of like really want to try to do more on my own, right? On my space. Talk to not a neighbor, but a friend the other day about maybe trying to get a couple cows out here and just do that. And it's crazy, man. It's
So
freaking
then all you got to
crazy.
do is send them to the butcher.
I wouldn't even do that. I'd butcher them myself. I mean, it can't be that much different than a deer, just
a
bigger.
little bit bigger.
Yeah. As long as you got like a tractor with a lift, you can, hoist it up. I think you can. I think you could handle it yourself.
Well, that's the thing though. If you're talking to your neighbors and you get a community thing kind of going, and one of y'all builds, get a steel building, you can actually, put a decent little, as long as it's not, USDA approved, that's $1 million facility. But if you guys do it yourself, put a cool bot cold room and some block and tackle, and you can do that. I mean, I know people who have butcher shops at their home, and it's.
I guess
it
that was
very
my
well for
thing,
them.
man. What the hell you want to spend all your time learning how to butcher animals efficiently? Pay someone else to do that shit. Let him be an expert at it.
Yeah, but so that's the thing, right? If I could easily enough, I would. But like, taking animals, like you can take a deer to get processed. I don't know. Can you take a cow to get processed to somebody?
Yeah, they're called butchers.
Yeah.
It's literally what the fuck they
You
do
can,
all
but like,
day,
what do
every
you?
day.
So okay. I feel like,
custom
but then,
processing is what you're looking for.
but I don't want. First of all, I don't want to spend the money on that.
I hear you. I agree.
And second of all, like, look, if I raise an animal,
I guess my point is like, you see, when you buy the meat at the store, dude, you're already paying for that. You're not.
I am.
So that's my point. Like, you're still saving the money on like raising the cow yourself. And I can tell you right now, taking it for custom processing, it's just another cow to him. He's gonna whip through it unless you have like super special requirements. Oh, that's just built into the cost. You can get rid of a lot of the costs. Why get rid of? You don't need to get rid of all of them if you don't want to. Great if you want to learn how to do it.
I
But like,
don't.
I don't know why you seem to like want to spend time doing crazy stuff.
I do, because I don't think it would be that crazy. Like, I butchered enough deer that, like, it's a sizability. Like once you butcher an animal, like they all kind of break down the same. Like they're a lot of the cuts are the same. A lot of the muscle runs the same way. You learn how to take a muscle apart. Like,
All right,
it's
Gatesy.
really just a size thing. Now, am I as efficient as like a butcher? No, but at the same time, like, if I and part of this is like an emotional moral thing, right? Like, if I raise an animal from like, not infancy, but like it's, pretty young, and I've given it the best life it can, I don't want it to end its life on a freaking trailer where it has no idea what's going on, and who knows who's going to butcher it and how they're going to treat it before it's butchered. Like, I'd rather just do it as like humanely as I can, and and do that there where it's comfortable. I don't know.
I agree with all that. One of the things, definitely, travel stress is a big thing, and like you said, it's an animal you raised, you got some care behind it, so loading it on a trailer and having it travel, that definitely gets some stress. And I share the same feeling. You don't know who's butchered it. I hope they do it humanely. I hope they're nice to it.
Yeah, right.
And then also, like, there's an emotional connection to it.
You guys don't do halal?
No.
I think the way I do it is technically halal okay, but I don't know enough about it. It's just what I read. But so the other side of it is also like, so what am I going to do? Go to work at a job that I marginally enjoy to make money to pay somebody else to do this for me, or I spend the day doing it myself, and and this is a business for me, so I do sell them, but I'm getting to work from home, in that way, working on my own animals and stuff like that. So I guess I prefer that option rather than going and working on other people's cars to pay somebody else to do my animals for me when I could just do the animals myself. Yes, I'm probably not as efficient, but you get it down over time.
Is some of that like some of that efficiency, like, really, I don't know, does it make that much of a difference? Like, I guess time is money, but at the same time, like, it's not that much time. I don't know. Like, sometimes it is, but And there's
guess.
something nice about setting a day aside. Like, okay, this weekend is butcher weekend, and that's what it's going to be. And it's like, it, it's refreshing. It's like, okay, this is what's going to happen. It's work. You know, it's going to be work. You know, it's not going to be fun. Butchering animals is never fun. But when you're done with it, like, that's an amazing feeling. Like looking at your freezer and knowing that you just put like 100 pounds of meat, 200 pounds of meat in your freezer. That's like very gratifying.
Look, there is zero chance that I'm ever doing this personally. So I'm at this point, I'm lobbying for Liz. Like
You could do
I'm.
rabbits in the city. You could do rabbits where you are. For
Oh
sure.
no, it has nothing to do with it. I'm just saying I'm not ever doing it. I don't have the stomach for that shit. It's not
Oh,
me.
y'all were talking about quail. I heard quail's really easy.
Yeah.
Is it like where I just snap the neck and like pull it apart, like legs in one hand, and it pops like a Chinese finger trap, and it's just everything's where it needs to be?
More or less. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, sure.
Look, I don't even eat chicken wings because they're too much work, guys. If it's not a prepared chicken cutlet, I'm not taking the time.
I'm acquainted with someone that raises quail, and that's pretty much it. You know, you wring the neck, which you know, you wring the neck not hard, but she like steps on the wings, grabs the feet, and then pulls, and yeah, then you pretty much have your well, it's already dead, so you know, and you pretty much have your like little bird there.
How graphic. I mean, yeah, for me, I've never been a huge meat person anyways. Like I eat it because it's something that you kind of need to do because eating too many beans is also crappy.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's never been a thing that I'm just like in love with the meat. So I don't feel terrible about like the process and not wanting to do it.
I don't know. I think I don't know. I think there's it's because it's not cheaper. I've not been able to get it cheaper than the chicken at the store.
Definitely not.
At the same time, like, you know, like we said at the beginning, we were talking about, you know, subsidizing the postal service, you know, that meat you're getting at the store is subsidized. I can get that cost like down pretty low for the chicken that I raise. And, you know, I feed them, but they're also outside. They have a much better life than the chicken at the store. And there's something about seeing it from start to finish that, I don't know, just gives me that satisfaction that like when I'm eating it, like I know I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is like as healthy as I can get it right now.
So this is actually brings up an interesting thing that will be in line with one of the other questions you had for Dag. In that Schellenberger book, he actually talks specifically about the changes that have happened within the factory farming industry to limit the amount of fear and limit a lot of like the really, really worst practices of the industry. If for no other reason than it makes the meat taste shitty by pumping all those hormones into them. And apparently, like within the past past 2 decades, there's been like a lot of changes within the industry to, even in like the worst of circumstances, there's certainly a more humane approach to what they do with the animals as far as you know, the butchering process. I mean, at the end of the day, you are killing the animals, but if you can limit the amount of fear that they have to go through going into that, you're going to have a better finished product. And it was something that I hadn't really thought much about. You know, we just hear factory farming is the devil. But once again, the big thing is that, well, the amount of people that we have on the planet, there's a certain, like, the fact of the matter is that with current practices, at least, that's the only way you feed as many people as are on the planet. And technically, you're going to need to have more compressed agriculture to feed everyone once we all reach a certain level of, you know, wealth.
Well, that's a, you know, and that's definitely something like, so I obviously advocate for, you know, there's things that, you know, I like, you know, pasture raised food and, you know, that stuff should be better. And, you know, I'm not a fan of GMOs, but, you know, I don't think it should be illegal. And one of the big reasons that I don't think that stuff like that should be illegal, and I don't like laws against, you know, quote unquote inhumane practices, is just because I feel like I'm just screwing over poor people. because I don't know.
Which would be. That's literally what that does.
Yeah, yes, it's great that we can have food for as inexpensive as we do. And let's put aside the fact that, it's subsidized and it probably shouldn't be that inexpensive. But, let's just say that because of, the food system we have, it allows it to be that inexpensive. That's great that we have that option, but I would certainly argue that the reason things are the way they are today is from 100 years, over 100 years of regulation, cronyism, subsidization, stuff like that has really shaped the markets that we have now. If there wasn't so much government control from, the late 1800s over the food system, we just don't know what it would look like. There might be better ways to do things that would allow us to feed as many people. And I'm not saying that that is the case. I'm just saying we just don't know, So again, I just think that we should have all possibilities open, but I definitely don't like, the industrial food system being so subsidized, because again, it's chemical companies that set this up because they can sell chemicals. It's, again, the big cartelized seed companies that set this up so that they can sell their seeds, which also sell the same chemicals. It's Dow, it's Monsanto. These are people who, profited off of warfare for, a century and then got into selling our food. So, we just don't know. But again, I don't want to take food out of poor people's mouths by saying we have to do it one way or the other. I just wish we actually had a free market to be able to let that kind of stuff work itself out.
I mean, so we know that like regenerative agriculture is the gold standard. So I envision that at some point, once they've kind of milked the last little bit out of their con game that they have and can, eventually they're going to adopt the practice themselves and then probably patent it in some way, because there's not going to be any other choice. Like if things are as dire as people say, and I tend to believe that, we have just such destroyed soil thanks to their chemicals, eventually like the only choice is going to be regenerative agriculture in some form or fashion. You're not going to be able to chemical up the shit that's not there.
Well, a great example is just certified organic, went from being kind of a fringe fancy thing to where once the big guys got in on it, they lobbied to change the rules.
Adulterated the hell out of it.
They did, and they made it so expensive to do it that, again, only the big guys can do it, So they kind of really just bastardized the whole thing, and they really pushed a lot of people out of the market. So that kind of thing, definitely happens, and there's past examples of that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how food goes in the next, I don't know, I'd say 100 years, but I won't be around to see it. So like 50 years, but
there's no way. I think there's no way. We're looking at changes in the next 5 to 10 years that are going to be massive.
I think
too much change
maybe
going on.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Are you guys at all optimistic that this whole couve nonsense is going to push some stuff in a better direction? I'm trying to be optimistic, but that historically it's not the way things go. But I'm really hoping, a lot of people are getting into gardening themselves now. They had time on their hands and the food shortages and whatnot recently.
So
what are you guys' thoughts?
Are they going to get? Are you talking for us in America? Are you talking on the global level? Like, what do you mean?
I guess I'm talking us in America as far as attitudes here, because obviously, a lot of that cheap food goes overseas, and a lot of people are going to starve overseas because of this. So I guess I'm just being.
A lot of people already are starving overseas because of this. Just to be clear, folks.
More so, I guess. I guess here, do you think that Americans' attitudes might change? They might start taking this stuff into their own hands a little more, like they used to.
I don't know. Like, there's parts of me that feel like America's kind of done. I don't know if we get balkanization out of this. But I mean, the left and the right want nothing to do with each other anymore. Like, it used to be when I'd creep into just random conversations on Facebook and say secession, like people would just freak out. Certainly on the left wing side. No, I don't get any more freakouts anymore. I think everyone's like, yeah, that sounds like the best option we have right now, because it's either that or I'm killing my neighbors.
They don't call you a neo-Confederate or anything?
Secession doesn't bring much of that up these days. It's usually like, yeah, I think you're right. That's probably for the best.
Yeah,
the problem is how much of the tyrant's going to allow.
Well, that's what gets me is people say, like, oh, secession, what, you want another civil war? And it's like, why do we have to go to war? Why can't you just let them leave?
We just all take our balls and go home this time. Clearly it didn't work out well the first time.
Yeah.
You take the ball, I take the stick. I think
It was supposed to, if it
man,
was
I don't
about
know.
slavery, it clearly didn't cure it. Like, we still have the racial tension. So what did it do? Let's just
Yeah.
take our balls and go home.
I mean, I think it's gonna be interesting to see how it all drops. I'm down here in Georgia when I haven't followed it too much. I kind of quit on everything, but like the couve is making its way around our county right now. I think my county was like the number one county in Georgia for like new cases.
Or deaths.
And
Which one?
no, it wasn't. I think we have like less than 5 deaths. I want to say it's probably like 2. We had one for the longest time, and she was like a older lady. But
It's weird that
gonna
you
be
get that
interesting to
with a
see how it all falls.
5,000% increase in testing.
Yeah, and look, there's people that like are sick, and it's like not good, but at the same time, it's like not this thing that everybody's making it out to be. And
Look, I'm sorry. Resident Evil gave me a far different impression of what a plague looks like. Okay, this is not what a pandemic is supposed to be.
Yeah, my county is one of the worst in Florida as far as quote unquote surging cases.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's you wouldn't know if it weren't for the fact that everyone's walking around with masks on. You wouldn't even know.
I heard that deaths are up 10%.
10%. Okay.
From almost being gone.
Deaths? You mean like overall deaths, or you mean like from the couve? I thought they were on the decline.
Oh, no, they are.
I don't even fucking know. Okay.
They're on 10% from like where they were almost gone entirely.
All right. I don't know, man. It's like I don't know. I'm done with it. Like, and I'm down in like the red zone. I'm Bob Belt red zone. So everybody I talk to is like, it's like a political ploy.
It really is, and I mean, I feel like it must just be an election year thing, because it is so split along political lines as to how you feel about this thing.
It really is, and it's who knows? I don't know. What do we get out of it? I don't know what we'll get out of it. I really don't. I don't think we'll get much good out of it. I think the only thing.
Ben, I think, and I can tell you right now, you're even in your life, there's already been good that's happened. Because I got into planting shit with Liz. I just paid off my car. I'm about to pay off another consolidation loan here in 4 months. And I'm getting my fucking finances in order so I can get the fuck out of here if need be.
So okay. So in terms of like,
so you got a good buddy whose life is already materially improving by the change that this had forced me to take.
You hold on to that.
Yeah, say thank you to the couve. And so I think like maybe
and if somebody's grandpa had to die to make that happen, it's totally worth it, right?
And that's it though. Like it just, man, I don't know. Like, and there probably are good things, and like, you watch the media, and the media pays attention to like the things like, oh my God, this like 30-year-old died. Oh, everybody running. Like, yes, that sucks. But like,
Ben,
how many 30-year-olds survived? Like, so I'm so done with it.
You guys are seeing the real change, right? The article about the squirrels with bubonic plague in fucking Colorado. What is it?
There's someplace else.
The pork with a version of the bird flu over there in China.
Yes, I saw that.
Everything, they're running with every possible inkling of viral anything to scare the shit out of people right now.
So, man, I hate my tinfoil hat, but man, I don't know.
It doesn't take much. The news knows it works, so why would they not use it? It's a headline that will grab people. You'll need a tinfoil hat.
What do they say? It's factual but not truthful, and you see the stuff like I see every day on the news, hospitalizations with COVID, but it's not because of COVID, so you're in there for a broken arm and you happen to test, then they're going to count it as a hospitalization.
And I can't tell you how many people have told me that doesn't matter. If you die with COVID, it's because of COVID.
Well, I feel bad for like my elderly father who's freaking out about this, and it's just like, dude, like, yeah, take precautions, but like, like, calm down, dude. Like,
I don't know, bro. Not to be a dick, but like, I think you need to like work on your dad a little bit. Like, Dad, quit being a bitch. Like, stop.
I will
stop
say-
paying
Yeah, I
attention.
hear you.
Stop paying attention to the news. What the fuck's wrong with you?
I do. I tell them, dude, man, if it's not in your circle of control, don't worry about it. But I don't know. I don't want to
It's a
spend
scary thing, man. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
where you come from. If like you're in that range,
I'm just a
that
heartless dick.
demographic.
That's all it is, man.
No,
I know.
but no, it's like it's one of those things, like, and what are you supposed to do but take care of yourself? That's it. At the end of the day, if you don't take care of yourself, you're on your own, man. I can't help you.
You're
Like,
80 fucking years old. You got a good couple years. Do what you got to do.
Just stop watching the TV news, dude. Like that's all. That's usually my best advice.
I know. How is your dad old enough that he even needs to be worried about it?
Yeah, I think he's got like some health issues and stuff like that. Like he just went in for like a heart thing, and the doctor's like, your heart's good, but you need to work on your stress. And he's like, I can't until this virus is over because these people won't mask up.
Oh yeah, your dad. Sorry, dude, your dad's a goner. Like that's see.
We're
Freaking out about this shit.
Yeah, man, no, it's a bummer, and it's like, and I feel bad, but it's like I'm angry at like the news, I'm like, stop scaring old people with this shit.
I'm a fat diabetic piece of shit. I'm guaranteed to catch it. I'm just kind of over here like, yeah, I just manage my stress. Little bit.
There's only so much you can do. I mean, viruses are here. They're going to be here. I mean,
they've
they're
always
a natural
been
thing,
here.
Yeah. And sometimes they take some people out, but it's kind of something that helps us evolve as a species. I mean, I think that there's, not to get too, not religious, but like there's a reason they're here. I mean, there's a reason that they go through and they affect what they do. And
because
I think it's an evolutionary thing.
Because they're living things want to do what all living things want to do, and fuck until they can't fuck anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. And on the note, I mean, it's not in their best interest to kill the host. If they want to spread.
And I think we're starting to see some of that, but I don't know, man. It's I don't know. And you gotta wonder too, like when you talk about like when you're stressed, your immune system is you're so much more susceptible to stuff. And like, what does all this crap do? What does it do to you when like your friend calls you and says, hey, I don't know if I got the coup, but I was exposed to somebody with it. Like the amount of like stress that you put on people when you do that, like it's not. And I get it. Like you gotta let them know so they can let everybody else know. And like, how many degrees of separation are we going here? Like to me personally, no, I don't care. But like there are some people that it would, right? And like,
okay, whatever.
this is like Kevin Bacon business. Like, well, just quit, just stop, man, just freaking stop. I don't know. As long as my birds are okay. And I think there was something there not too long ago where they were talking about like there's like a bird flu going through, and it's like taking out a sizable percentage of
they're just
chicken like poultry flocks. Did you remember seeing something like that once upon a time, Dag?
Yeah, man, that goes on all the time. But if you look at it, it's always the big chicken houses. Like there's like never been a case of bird flu at like a backyard chicken farm.
Wait,
never happened.
The backyard barbecue and 12 chickens running around chilling.
You mean
having
like
martinis before they get butchered?
You mean like the places that get the couve or the places that are overpopulated? Weird.
It's
weird. It's weird how cramming
in there. Yeah.
It's weird how cramming anything into tiny little boxes and blocking out sunlight is probably not good for them.
Almost by design, if you wanted to design something that would make things sick, that's what you do.
Well, what I can tell you is a lot of Americans are moving away from cities. So I don't know if this was on purpose or what.
Which scares me. I mean, like, because that's what I was saying. Like, I like, Nicky, like, and Dad, like where you are, is rural. Like, I grew up like upstate New York where it was rural, and like in my lifetime, in 20 years, like 30 years, I saw it blow up. My wife's from Long Island, where she was on Long Island. Like there were horse farms. When we go back and visit, it's like super suburbia, it's urban.
Well, where I came from is not like that at all. Where I came from is still upstate New York. Looks a lot like West Virginia.
But that scares me. Like I look at Georgia and like, red, blue, whatever, Georgia's turning purple. And like, you look at Atlanta and the main three counties where people are moving from are like, I forget, it's like the Bronx and Queens but it's like New York City, Cook County, and Detroit. And I forget what county that is there, but you know, it's like those big cities. People are spilling out, coming here, and spreading that liberalism. And you see that with Colorado and California and Texas and all these places. It's like, man, if you're gonna move out of the city, like, please, like, come to the country and understand that, like, it's different. It's different out
Leave
here.
that city shit in the city.
Yeah, man. Like, look, I'm gonna help you out so the government doesn't have to a little bit, and we're gonna make this work. But like, I don't need more taxes.
Well,
Like,
Ben,
you don't need to have somebody come sweep your sidewalk, dude. Do it yourself,
I think
man.
that's going to
You
happen.
don't need a sidewalk.
I think that's going to happen regardless because of this.
Yeah, on the one hand, I'm like, cool, people, get out of the cities. The cities suck. But then, like, oh man, D, watch it because they're just gonna move it closer to you, and that's not what I want.
No. But this is good for you guys because you guys kind of like people in the country already have established cultures, and it's up to you guys to, when the government stops being able to fund shit, step in and saying, "But no, this is how this works, and you're not gonna rob me because I've got a shotgun and have fun coming for it." Like, country folk got to stand up for their way of life and say, "Look, it was easy when you were hundreds of miles away to come and steal my shit. Why don't you try that now?"
And I mean, we'll see how it all plays out. But I think, like, you know, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I don't think you look at Chaz, whatever you call it, and you talk about balkanization and all this stuff, and like, I just don't see it happening. Even if like the right and the left wanted to do it, I don't see it happening. You know, and that's with like things in New York, Washington, California. How many other states have these, like, you know, let's not actually secede, but let's break up. Let's just, you know, we'll have, you know, 6 different states in this one.
Yeah,
We'll
the
have
thing
2
is
different
that
things. You know,
the thing is that that's based on a working, functioning federal government, which I don't know that we will have.
well, that's right.
Like, we owe so much
it'll
money.
always. I think it'll. I mean, it's going to take a lot for it not to be,
No, it
quote,
doesn't.
functioning.
It takes us to not be the favored government by the ruling elites. That's all that takes. I mean, the sun didn't used to set on the British Empire at one point in time too, and that shit crumbled, same as everyone other one does. When you're not when you're not the fancy new kid in town, which is still America.
I get that, but and this is like maybe tinfoil hat, but I think, like, due to industrialization, due to globalization, because of the scale we are working on, I'm not sure you're going to see the changes occur like that, right? Like, the British Empire fell and they had colonies all over and they couldn't get there in time, right? The information transfer was not there in time. If they had spies over there, if they had all this information, they could get it like in like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes. Like,
you're imagining the fall. Like, you're thinking of like when we left the colonies. England was gigantic, fuck ton longer than that. Like, dude, we're talking into the 60s and 70s. They still had colonies.
But still, like, you didn't have like that. I don't know. I feel like you didn't have that power. Like, you have now. You have operatives everywhere that you can communicate with immediately, and
until you stop being able to pay them,
I just feel like things are so
until your
ingrained
money's worthless and you can't pay them. What the fuck does it matter? That's if you want to take it to
then
Ron
you have
Paul,
digital dollars. You have digital dollars, and those are so meaningful, right?
Well, but if they're only meaningful as long as China doesn't decide to make a play. Like, that's all it works out to be. Like, that's the thing.
Can China make a digital dollar too?
Well, China already has a digital dollar. I'm pretty sure. The yen.
I mean, like a digital, like, USD.
I guess.
I mean, how do you know? I guess there needs a blockchain to make sure, and then we have to.
And what do you think, Dan? Settle this for us.
I think that I heard that China.
What are you talking about?
I heard that China is the biggest counterfeiter of American paper currency. That they actually have some more printing presses. They actually.
You listen to Rush Limbaugh again?
Nope. I think I saw it on like a History Channel like 20 years ago. So who knows if that's still the case?
Yeah.
Maybe they're printing the old big face bills.
So this has been
so that old $20 bill that I found the other day that I was like, so cool, showing my kids. Oh, look at this, it's amazing. It was really like a Chinese counterfeit.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, technically, it's not even a counterfeit. It's just made with an old press.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder if do you think the Fed would sell old presses?
right? I bet you any like old Fed chairman's probably got one in like their basement or something. Yeah. On the retirement day, I took one of these old fuckers home with me, you know.
So it's
But,
been a meandering mess of a show, and it was fun. Dag, why don't you kind of tell us where people can find you and check you out?
Sure. I co-host the Agorist Nexus podcast. I've got some other projects I'm working on, but whatever. I'm not really going to talk about that today. And then on social media stuff, I'm the Agorist. Keybase, Discord and Twitter and Instagram and all that nonsense. So,
and when are you getting involved with us more?
What's that?
And when are you getting involved with us more? Coming on and doing some work with us. Ben's
down,
too busy being a dad. I need help.
Yeah, no. Let me know, man. Like I said, I was moving and stuff a few months ago. As you can see, I'm in my new podcasting layer. So,
Ooh, boy.
I'm set up. The whole floor's got a rug on it. Hopefully the acoustics are decent, make it happen.
Yeah. I tell you, so I was telling you guys about the upstairs before. It was all carpeted, and I took out the carpet in all but one room, just because I ran out of flooring and I got lazy and didn't get to it. And I'm upstairs now recording, and it is amazing the difference that a carpet can like. I'm amazed. I'm thank God I didn't take it out, because it would have been awful.
And I have carpet walls behind me because of the difference. Just a little bit of carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you always need a little bit of carpet, just a little bit, not too much, but yeah.
I like to be able to add my reverb. I don't like having to take it out. But with the Isotope RX7 package, you too can take reverb out of your podcast.
If I knew what reverb was, I might use it, but you have to deal with my crappy audio. So yeah. Anyway, thank you all for coming on. Speaking of Discord and Keybase, I just want to get this out there because Discord sucks, and you should all go to Keybase, find Peace Freqs on Keybase, find
Ben's salty
Good View Quarter on
because he got kicked off
Keybase, and
doing your white supremacist messages.
Who manages your Discord now, Ben?
Okay, so no one. That's hilarious. That's like the real anger, man. So I made an admin, and I just realized that saying that out loud. I wonder if he did that on purpose. He was an admin, so he could do like some techie stuff that like my boomer mind couldn't wrap around. And I left him there because why not? And he got booted, and then like a week later I got booted, and there's no admin in my group. And I'm like, dude. You ask them like what you said, and there's no response.
Well, somehow
it's just you violated terms of service and you incited violence against like a group of people, and it's basically like you're a cyberbully. And I'm like, dude, like
it's the same one they give everyone else, by the way. Like that's literally all they say.
Well, right, and that's all they say, and then you contact them, and it's nothing, zero.
That's the thing that they're allowed to use based on their terms of service. If you've ever seen, what's his name, Jeremiah Harding has gotten a bunch of them for different groups as he's had, because he had an anti-pedo group on there that was kicked off.
That's a violation of the terms of service, apparently.
Yes. Now there's pedo groups on Discord for sure.
They're everywhere. Haven't you watched like anything?
No,
they're like everywhere.
To live like away from this stuff, thankfully.
NAMBLA is a thing, right?
Yeah,
it is. So, anyways, boys.
But anyway, yes, go to Keybase and find that. Go to the show notes and find the show notes there. And I'm gonna let Nicky close it out because I can't.
All right, folks, you heard the man. Go check us out on social media. If you want the show notes or to find out more about us and how technology and innovation and private property rights are the best things for the environment, head on over to Free Market's Green Earth. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.